Good morning, grade 6 students. Today we are going to talk about chemical reactions. What will happen to an iron key in open air? Of course, the iron key or any substance made up of iron will rust in open air. Is the rust the same as iron, or is it a new substance? The rust, of course, is a new substance different from iron. How did the rust come? The rust is obtained from the reaction of iron with oxygen in the air. So, when I leave iron in open air, it will react with oxygen and it will form rust. The rust is a new substance, so we say that a chemical reaction took place here between iron and oxygen in order to form a new substance which is rust. So, to have a chemical reaction, new substances must be obtained. In this case, rust is obtained. Here I have two images, image A and image B. In image A, I have someone that is cutting the wood. In image B, I have someone that is burning the wood. Identify which of the two images shows physical change and which shows chemical change. Explain your answer. Of course, cutting the wood is not a chemical change. Why? Because the wood doesn't change after cutting, and no new substance is obtained. So cutting the wood is not a chemical reaction because the wood remains wood after cutting and no new substance is obtained. What about burning wood? After burning, the wood will change into ash. The ash is a new substance. So here in image B, the wood will change from wood into ash. So this is a chemical reaction because new substances are obtained, or new substance is obtained, which is ash. So cutting the wood in image A is not a chemical change because the wood doesn't change after cutting. Burning wood is a chemical change or chemical reaction because the wood changes into ash after burning, which is a new substance. So the condition to have a chemical reaction is to obtain new products. So in a chemical reaction, substances that react together are called reactants. The substances that appear are called products. For example, iron and oxygen react together. They are called reactants. Rust appears, so it is the product. So the iron and the oxygen are the reactants. They react together to give us a new substance, which is called the product, which is the rust. During chemical reaction, the reactants will disappear while the products will appear. For example, the iron will disappear with time and the rust will appear with time. To write a chemical reaction equation, we should write the reactants before the arrow and the products after the arrow. For example, I write iron plus oxygen before the arrow. The product here is the rust. I write it after the arrow. I want to talk about the signs of chemical reaction. How can we know if a new substance is obtained? Okay, and a chemical reaction took place. To know if a chemical reaction took place, I have many signs, such as the release of gas bubbles, the change of color, the formation of precipitate. This means that when I mix two substances together and the color changes, or gas bubbles appear, or there is precipitate, okay, this means that a chemical reaction took place between the substances that I mixed them. I will give you an example. The reaction of vinegar and chalk, and you can try it at home. You can mix chalk with vinegar. When we mix the chalk with vinegar, we will notice that gas bubbles appear immediately. This is a sign that a chemical reaction takes place between vinegar and chalk. Okay, so the release of gas bubbles means that there is a chemical reaction that take that takes place between chalk and vinegar. I'm going to give you another example of chemical reactions, which is the reaction of hydrochloric acid and limestone. When we add hydrochloric acid and limestone together, we will observe the release of gas bubbles. So this is a sign that a chemical reaction takes place between hydrochloric acid and limestone. Okay, so hydrochloric acid and limestone react together. The product is gas, okay, because gas bubbles appear. This gas is carbon dioxide. How can we know that carbon dioxide is released? We can use lime water. When lime water turns turbid, this means that carbon dioxide is released. So here the gas released is carbon dioxide. We know that by using lime water. So the reaction of hydrochloric acid and limestone will give us carbon dioxide, salt, and water. So the reactants are hydrochloric acid and limestone. The products are carbon dioxide, salt, and water. To write the chemical reaction equation, I write the reactants before the arrow and the products after the arrow. Now, finally, I want to talk about the law of conservation of mass. During a chemical reaction, the mass of the reactants is equal to the mass of the products. For example, if I mix 60 grams of hydrochloric acid and limestone, the mass of the products that are carbon dioxide, salt, and water should be also 60 grams.